Hey everyone, here is our November Raythe Rain newsletter that tells you what to expect this upcoming month and goes over what we did in October, which was actually a lot. So first, let's get to the business. Facebook live reading and podcasts. Empire of Stars will have live readings on November 21 and 28. You know, in October, the first reading didn't go so well. We had a little technical difficulty there, but the second sure did. We can now do YouTube Live and Facebook Live at the same time. And this is awesome, but doing this means that Raythe really does get a ton of comments. We're actually reaching the streamer level where it's too many to read at once. And internal conversations are going on in the comments, and we're kind of new at this, so we'll just see how it goes. It's weird to think that we're like real streamers now. Dragon's Reign podcast is coming November 14th and then December 5th because we ran out of room on the calendar. The membership is now fully 3 months in advance of the public podcast now. So if you are considering joining us as a member, well, that's one of the things that you'll get. Cinders and Ashes got a flurry of reviews and is now up to 55. So we're well over the mythical BookBub safety line. Hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get a BookBub. Thank you so much. And Raythe reports that Cinders and Ashes 2 is just a few chapters away from completion, and that's coming out on Amazon on November 20th. Members, of course, get the book sooner. So anyone who signs up for a membership this month will not only get Cinders and Ashes 2 free, but also be the first to read it. As usual, there are 4 new chapters of Empire of Stars still free to read. Those will be on the calendar. We're not going to spam you with emails every time, especially because that would be 6 emails, 4 for the chapters and 2 for the live readings. That's just way too many. The discussion about aliens for Empire of Stars is coming, but after Cinders and Ashes 2 releases. We're finally to that point where Raythe feels like she can open up the discussion for Build an Alien for Empire of Stars universe. And then the secret project update. Thank you so much to the first wave of beta testers for our secret project. We just finished up the last bit of technical nonsense, so we're, I think, ready to roll that out. It's just a matter of finding out when, because a lot of stuff is happening. It's Cinders and Ashes 2 month, and our calendar is pretty full already. Anyway, if you're a member, just look for that email. I'm going to have Jeremy set up a download page where you can just get it and try it. As for endings and beginnings, no new serials are going to start in 2020 like we had thought maybe 4 months ago, but in 2021, be prepared for a big change up. Raythe has been planning some new stuff, and it's going to be very different from what's on the lineup now. Of course, wouldn't want you to get bored. Free books. Cinders and Ashes 1 is going to be free from November 13th to the 17th. So, if somehow you missed the beginning of the series, you can read it free starting November 13th and going on to November 17th. 25 audio codes are coming for members on November 7th. That'll be posted on the blog as usual. I'm not sure what the audiobook is going to be. So that's the end of the official business. Now we're into the community space. So because we're crazy, we ran 3 extra podcast episodes last month. The short story Hero read aloud in Raythe's best dramatic narration. We also started a semi-regular YouTube series. Whether or not we do more of it kind of depends on you. And that series is Raythe Rain Readers Recommend. Since it was topical, we asked for gay horror recommendations. And we got a cool list of around 10 diverse works that ranged from gritty paranormal romance to true horror. If you saw that list, how did you like it? Did you read anything from it? And would you like us to do more for other categories? Just let us know. And we'll probably send out an email closer to the time we are going to roll out another Raythe Rain Readers Recommend. However, this is our busiest season, so we'll see when we can cram it in. And we also got some really cool real-life spooky stories on Facebook. Vladimir says, I used to go camping a lot with my family when I was younger. I could never remember the name of the site. However, we stopped going there because strange things just kept happening. We would always have car trouble leaving the place. The batteries and the lights would die really fast, and we'd have strange dreams at night. Sometimes I swear, even if I was alone, I could hear people whispering my name. The campsite was near a mountain with lots of caves, so we'd often hike up and around it. And we'd always find something strange, like rocks placed in odd ways or deep holes. On the final night of us being there, at this point we decided we weren't going to come back. I was out late walking the dogs before bed, but I didn't get very far when all of a sudden my flashlight shut off and all of us stopped. When I looked at the dogs, I noticed that they were being very still and looking up at something. Then I saw it too. Something was in front of us, only 5 feet away, and it was staring at us too. It was black as night, 6 feet tall with big, shining, orange-yellow eyes. I could barely make out its silhouette, but I swear I saw horns. We all just stood there for a minute or two, then I pulled the dogs away and headed back to camp. We never went back, but we found out later that the place we had been camping had been nicknamed the Devil's Pit by many. How awesome! Oh man, that would be cool. I don't have any cool camping stories, and Raythe has no camping stories because she hates camping. Pam Dusk says, I was way younger when this happened. My sister and I slept in a bunk bed. She on the top, I'm on the lower. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw her right in front of me standing at the stairs with her back to me. But the creepy thing was she was see-through and I could hear her breathing from the bed above me. I didn't want to look at her because who knew if she looked like my sister then? But at the same time, I was scared to look away. This thinking felt like hours, but was most likely at most a few minutes. And I decided to just put my blanket over my head and sleep. In the morning, I asked her if she was up at night and she was standing there, but she didn't. She dreamed that she was doing something in the room. The scariest thing that ever happened to me when I was little is that there was a fire in my apartment and my sister and I had pulled the blankets over our heads and my dad was like, nope, you're out of there. And John D says, a couple from when I used to manage a mortuary. We had office phones that could intercom so we could get in touch with each other anywhere in the building. The embalming room would routinely page the front desk. The phone company said it was static on the line, but even after switching the phone, checking the wiring, etc., it still happened. And then, you know that squeaking sound wet sneakers make on tile? Would routinely hear that sound as if someone was walking up and down the long hallway in the back. Even if no one else was working, we would still hear it. Creep-ola. I mean, I know a mortuary is just a place, but man, that's, there are scarier things than dead people, but I don't know. Those places seem haunted to me. Anyway, that is the news for this edition. Stay tuned for Cinders and Ashes 2, coming out on Amazon on November 20th, but members are going to get it a week in advance for an exclusive download period. We hope you have a happy Halloween, and see you next month.